Hello and welcome to the Magic the Blau Ring podcast. I'm your host, Nick, with Josh, and today we're going to be talking about all things Magic the Gathering Avatar, The Last Airbender. How are you
Yeah,
doing, Josh?
I'm good. Did you what do you do? Do you just come back from a date? You have a job interview? What's going on here?
Yeah, I came back from a date, so
Okay.
yeah. We were running a little late to the podcast because of that, but whatever. I got to eat too, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a date today. It went pretty good, so
Cool.
not to get too much into that, but yeah.
Okay. All right. All
How,
right.
how you doing?
I'm doing all right, yeah. Trying to get motivated today, so
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
a
didn't
sluggish
sleep
day.
well last night, so
Oh no. I actually been getting more sleep, so that's been helping. Trying to get those health metrics, it's such a battle. You know, you think it's so easy to eat right, sleep right, drink water, and it's like actually one of them's always screwed up for some reason. So,
yeah, I saw all these Avatar spoilers yesterday, and it was just like, you know, Christmas Day, I couldn't, sleep thinking about them.
oh, is that the case? You're a big Avatar fan, huh?
No, 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 no.
Can you name the main character from
I
Avatar?
know his name's Aang, and there's like Appa is like the little like bison that he flies around on, right?
Yep, he's not little, he's huge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, yeah, he's
I do
huge.
know
Yeah,
that.
so I know most of the lore for Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've seen the series, I've seen the sequel series, Legend of Korra. I haven't seen the live action, the newer live action thing that's supposed to be good. But yeah, so I'm our lore master, I guess, for Avatar.
Okay.
Um,
I saw some people talking about, so this set releases I think like middle of November. So if you start the series like now, or you may have to catch up a few episodes, but if you start it like around now, you can finish it right around the time that the set releases. So
oh,
just
perfect.
yeah,
And I
so
encourage you all to do that. It's really good. Starts off like a kiddish cartoon, but then it kind of like has a really good story. Like it really picks up and has a lot of there are a lot of moments in it that are like life lessons and some like really good character development
so
in the
what this was
show.
on Nickelodeon, right? Didn't it come on Nickelodeon?
Yes,
Okay, so probably Paramount
in
Plus I
the
think is where you
mid
can
to
stream
late
it.
aughts, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good show. My younger brother, my youngest brother, he's 16 years younger than me. His generation, so he's about 19 now. His generation like 2 years ago, I remember there was just a groundswell of them like getting to their like you know, late teens and then being all nostalgic for it for some reason. I think it was because they were making the new show.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was just a lot of internet buzz going like, oh, Avatar. And you just have people like writing like cool little things about how I love Avatar and this and that and the other thing. It's a really beloved series. I feel like it might be meeting an audience. Obviously, I'm one of the people who watched it when I was younger. Um, but I think it it might be a little early for its demographic if it's going to be kind of expensive because I think they're all kind of
Yeah.
college age is like most of where they're at. So their money might be tight, but I still know people who played Magic even in their early college years where they still made it happen. So maybe they'll be able to get a hold of some of this Avatar product, but they love it. They love it big time. I think I love it. I think it's a great property. Reading all these characters has just been like, oh, this is how Magic interprets this character, which is usually a little different than I would imagine. But yeah, I'm super hyped to get into this set, Josh.
Yeah, my
As a non-Avatar, what is your impression?
well, so my middle son, he was born in 2000. So he's kind of there in that demographic. He loves Avatar. And so he's, you know, kind of excited about this set, and he is probably relying on me to pick up the cards for him. So his girlfriend just learned how to play Magic in Las Vegas. So I'm excited to see some of these products that they're coming out with for this set, and I want to talk about a couple of them right off the bat. So we've got the beginner box, which we saw in um, Foundations. So they're bringing this
Hmm.
back, and it looks like it's like a two-player kit. I assume it's going to be, pretty much exactly the same as the Foundations beginner box, but this is going to, onboard the players coming over. just for the Avatar stuff. It's going to help them, learn the mechanics, learn the rules of Magic, and all that. So I'm kind of excited about, you know, we've got this, we've got the welcome decks from Spider-Man. So Wizards has always been talking about how Universes Beyond is going to bring in all these new people, and I'm glad to see that they're kind of supporting that. Being able to teach these players coming over, in a pretty easy way. Also, in addition to this beginners box, we're getting Jumpstart. Jumpstart is coming with this, and
Oh,
yeah. So a couple years ago, they'd started doing Jumpstart. Um, sets for the regular sets, like we had Brothers War, I think, March of the Machines, and they were just kind of not really good. Like the main jump starts, the first one, and I think it was 2022 Jumpstart. Those are really good products, but then they started making them for every set, and it was just not great. So
it
I'm
was
kind
just
of
like condensed little snippets of the set. They didn't have like unique cards like all the
yeah,
ladder
yeah,
would have. Yeah.
and so I'm
And that's
interested to
really what
see.
kind of makes it extra exciting, right? You get that special card in your
Well, yeah,
Jumpstart
and
product.
so Foundations had Jumpstart, and it was really good too, because they did have those extra cards and stuff. So I'm excited to see kind of what this Jumpstart product is going to look like, and what it's going to contain. So it's kind of cool. I like seeing the products to bring over and teach the new players how to play.
Well, it's put their money where their mouth is. I'm
Yeah,
glad to see these beginner welcoming things in these Universe Beyond. I mean, this should be the on ramp. Like we're reaching new voices, new people. I think if you're new and you're like, oh, I want to try out Magic, well, here's a Magic Gathering product that is your IP that is
yeah.
saying welcome to you. So now you are feeling welcome and you are really getting targeted right there at the gate. I believe they had one. Yeah. Okay. So didn't Final Fantasy have their own two-player bundle?
Yeah,
Was it
so
not a
they
beginner
they had
bundle?
a starter kit, which they do for most of the sets, which is basically just two decks, all in one package, ready to play. I know they had that for Lord of the Rings. I've got a bunch of them up here. They've done those for quite a while, but the Jumpstart and the beginner box, specifically, especially the beginner box specifically teaches. It seems like the old Portal product, where it had everything in one box and it had, everything laid out, the rules, how to play the cards and everything. Whereas the starter kits, it's two kind of simplified decks that you can play against each other. So it's not as simplified as the beginner box. And then the jumpstart stuff is just fun to just grab a couple decks and start playing. So
Yeah. Yeah. So perfect kind of thing. I know people who will take the Jumpstart product, open it up, and then just sleeve that so they can just like play Jumpstart decks,
yeah, it's kind of
over and
like
over and
a
mix
like
and
a
match.
ready-made cube, honestly.
Right.
Not exactly, but like you can sleeve up or package all those packs together, and you can. What I do is I've got the original Jumpstart. I've got it all separated into the decks, and each deck has a number. And when you want to instead of opening the pack, since they're already opened, we just roll a die, and whatever number comes up, you just grab that pack out of the box. So it's kind of
Yeah.
it randomizes it that way. But
And it's fun. It's a super enjoyable experience. I remember
yeah,
people were building their own Jumpstart boosters and like trying to do that. I did a little bit of it. Made some little 40 card decks, just cool way to like get away from that like commander, like I have to build
yeah,
this freaking huge monstrosity, or like even a regular format where it's like, well, I gotta always keep the context. Like, how about I like this little niche piece of magic. I will make a half of a deck out of it,
yeah,
and then I'll smash it to this other one that are kind of weird. And I
yeah,
think that's super cool. It gives you that limited vibe, but like, you sculpt the whole environment. So, and it doesn't take too long. Like you need 30 cards. Like, you
yeah,
know, it's cool. Something to do with your extra commons and uncommons. Those packs that you cracked from your collector's boosters that you can't really draft normally. You just make little decks out of them. So super awesome. I didn't notice this one until I was on this page, Josh. Did you see the scene
yeah. That's
boxes?
what I was going to talk about next. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they started this with the Lord of the Rings, right? The like the Christmas edition Lord of the Rings, and then
Hmm.
Spider-Man I know is getting them, and then Avatar is getting them. So it looks like these Universes Beyond sets are all getting these scene boxes, so you can kind of show off, some of the cards from the Universes Beyond. So if you're a Spider-Man fan and you're not necessarily wanting to get into playing the game, you can get these and kind of display them or whatever, and get your hit from the Spider-Man products or the Avatar product in this case. So
Yeah, just being an art connoisseur, like check out
yeah,
these cool little pieces of art. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'm
So I
like a
mean,
Simpsons collector. I collect a lot of Simpsons stuff, and so like if they did, if say I don't know, if say Yu-Gi-Oh did a Simpsons Universes Beyond, and they had some, scene boxes like this, I would probably get them. Just to have them to display. So just for the
yeah,
for
I've
the
seen Yu-Gi-Oh stuff where they'll have the old cards just all in like a little like frame,
yeah.
because I mean, like the iconic Yu-Gi-Oh cards are not necessarily the good Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so it's like, well, here's my jank, but
Well,
it
they're
looks
probably
cool,
banned
and it's
too,
like
right?
it's all good.
You probably can't play with them
No, not the
anyways.
no. You can play with most of the. Well, it depends on what you decide is iconic. All the
Okay.
monsters from Yu-Gi-Oh that are iconic are garbage for the most part. You can play them, but they don't cost anything. The spells, on the other hand, are a little bit more redonkulous. Like reanimate in Yu-Gi-Oh costs zero, like, for example. Uh, Stuff
So
like that. But
one
yeah.
product I
Anyway,
saw that like jumped out at me and really caught my attention was this Commander bundle. Because I love bundles. Bundles are my favorite product. I have all these the bundle boxes. That's where I store all my cards. We have bundle battles here where my wife and I just each open a bundle and it's basically like a pre-release or second pre-release. We just open up the packs, make a deck, and play against each other. So it's kind of like its own limited format, and it's on its own. But this Commanders bundle, I'm really stoked to see what's in here. All we know so far is it comes with a box and it comes with one of the like click life counters for Commander. We don't know what cards are in here, what kind of packs, if we're going to get promos. So I'm excited to see this, and also, um, are we going to get cards that are just straight to Commander?
I mean, that's what it would imply to me. Like, we didn't do commander decks, but we like designed some cards that we think would
Yeah,
be fun commander, and they're just going to be in this bundle. Maybe. I have no idea. It's spicy, or maybe they're just going to take old commander staples and re-art them to Avatar style. Like
yeah,
here's your Avatar Soul Ring or something, or your Command Tower Soul Ring and it's Arcane Signet for your Avatar deck. Like, hey,
yeah,
we didn't do commander for the set, and we're used to getting these staples all the time. Here's all your staples for that, which would be super sweet, actually.
yeah. Because we aren't going to get that in Spider-Man. So like, you're not going to get your Spider-Man Soul Ring or whatever. So yeah, this that's probably what it is. Actually, it's probably so you can get. They probably have like the four different soul rings, and they're gonna have like it's gonna be random, so you have to buy multiples of these commander bundles.
There
But
you go.
um,
Yep, got to get the RNG in there a little bit.
yeah, yeah. So I assume it probably comes with some packs like the regular bundles do. I think the bundles now come with 9 packs. It's probably gonna have some sort of uh, booster packs in there, but they may have a couple packs that are just the commander staple cards, so with alt art and all that stuff. So probably a nightmare for collectors.
So this set actually had a great opportunity to do a one of one, which I don't think they've said anything about doing a one of one. But this also was a set with an opportunity because Aang is the last Airbender, so they could
Uh-huh.
make like a one of one Aang. He's like the only Airbender. Maybe there's a one of one Soul Ring. I don't know. I'm just saying this is another opportunity for Wizards to just be like one of one. Haven't heard anything, but just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
I can't imagine them being like, you know, it's hard to get Aang, but just interesting. The art on this box looks amazing too. I love
yeah.
that piece. It looks like a board game almost, like
Hmm.
the art on that bundle. It's beautiful. It has Appa and everybody on his back.
Yeah,
Loving it.
this
Loving it.
is the product that I'm most excited about seeing. So, and then
And it looks like they have pre-release packs showcased. Have you seen that?
yeah, that's what I was just about ready to say. Is we've got the pre-release packs, and we've got one for each of the elements, and then we've got black.
Yep.
uh, and so I did hear them say on the stream that so when you go get say the white, I think it's the white pre-release kit, has Aang on the
Mhm.
front of it. You will have Aang in that pack. So whatever characters on the front
Oh,
of the pre-release kit, that character will come in that pack. I believe is what I heard them say. So
oh, sweet.
yeah, and so who are all the characters here? We've got Aang obviously for air,
Aang for air, Zuko for fire.
which is
That's
red.
red, and then we have Toph for earth, which I assume is green.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Katara for blue, which is
Water.
water. And then black is actually she's a firebender. That's Zuko's sister, I believe. Oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. Zuko's sister, she's a villain. She's a big villain throughout the
Okay.
series, and she is lightning bending in that picture. So
Oh.
I'm assuming in the canon at the very beginning of the show, it's like the four nations lived in harmony for years, and then the Avatar disappears, and then until the Fire Nation attacked. It's I think it says four nations lived in harmony for hundreds of years, and then the Fire Nation attacked. Is how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So in this set, I assume black to be the Fire Nation, but so red-ish black. We've seen some cards that have red and black
Yeah.
fused together. So I feel like they're playing both roles, which is kind of cool. Seeing those ally colors kind of layer over. But yeah, so that's how I guess they're interpreting it to map it over to Magic because everyone thinks, well, yeah, we have the four, right? Air, white,
Uh huh.
etc. But then what's black? It's the Fire Nation. Um,
And so
but yeah,
you said lightning bending.
yes. So there are four types of bending, but as a card we'll get to later, it shows like Toph is the first metal bender.
Uh.
So each element has like offshoots that are very
Okay.
rare in the
Okay.
first series. So like if you become a master firebender, your next level up is to be able to channel lightning, which only like a couple people in the entire show can do.
Okay.
Um, and then in the later series, they kind of delve more into that. But in this series, lightning bending is one of the most. There's actually some cards we'll get into later that kind of show some things to do with that. But in the first series, yeah, there's some offshoots. There's like swamp bending and sand bending comes up later on. They're
Okay.
like weird offshoots.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Do you think we'll see
so
that in this set?
yes, I think we'll see. I don't think we'll see the keyword, but you'll see the characters.
Yeah, doing the
If they
thing.
had the keyword, I would be shocked, but I'm
Maybe
sure
the
they
so
not shocked, pun intended. But
let's talk about some of these cards. So because these could be lessons, maybe you could see
yeah,
like a lightning bending lesson. But
yeah,
so this is one of the things they're bringing back is lessons. And I've got Aang's Journey pulled up here. It's the colorless lesson, which it costs two. It's a sorcery. Type is lesson. Kicker two. And it says search your library for a basic land card. If the spell was kicked, instead search your library for a basic land card and a shrine card. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle. You gain two life. So you're doing a lot here for two colorless mana. Um, but
yeah.
so lessons are back. We first saw these in Strixhaven, and I don't know if you heard that we're going back to Strixhaven next year. So they're kind of interspersing these mechanics or card types throughout different sets, which I like to see because some of these sets have real fun mechanics and then you just never see them again. I'm excited to see them returning to stuff and bringing stuff back, and having in sets that they didn't first appear in. So do you
Also
think?
surprised to see Kicker here too. I'm happy to see Kicker. That's a sweet
Yeah, I
mechanic.
think
So,
that's one of those deciduous mechanics now. I don't think it's quite
oh
evergreen.
great.
So we'll see. We've seen that in quite a few sets. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. And what do you think about this card, man? This card's pretty sick for two colorless mana. Search your library for a basic land card.
I feel like they made this card in original Strixhaven, except it didn't have Kicker, and I don't know if it gained you life. It was just
Yeah.
like get any land. Seems pretty fair. I think Magic is in a good direction, having played back in the day where mana is such a struggle. I think two colorless. is a fair rate to get your basic land of your choice, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, we do it with mana rocks anyway, so I'm kind of happy with this. I think it's pretty fair. It's playable, gives you that 2 life buffer. So when you're doing literally nothing to the board and
Mm-hmm.
limited, you get punched in the face. You're like, well, I can ignore that 2 power guy hitting me
Right.
for a turn
Yeah.
while I get my land. I like it.
And
Good old
so,
pitcher Appa
s-
on it.
yeah. So this card talks about shrines. Let's talk about those next. So those are coming back to Magic shrines. When did we see these last?
I believe it was either Kamigawa Neon
Neon
Dynasty
Dynasty.
or it
Yeah.
was the there was a core set that did shrines also. I think it
So
was core set like 2021 or something.
so the one they've spoiled right now, I think it's the only shrine they've spoiled. It's the Southern Air Temple. Costs 3 and a white. Legendary enchantment shrine. When Southern Air Temple enters, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of shrines you control. Whenever another shrine you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
whenever the shrines were in last, I think it probably was Kamigawa. You could do shrine, just all shrine deck. It was pretty cool because they all build on top of each other. You get that ETB when another shrine enters. So um, yeah, this one's pretty powerful. It's got put counters on each creature you control, and you could theoretically do that every single turn. So
Yeah, whoever has that shrine commander, well, I forget its name, the one that's like 5 colors, like reanimated enchantment,
it's
or
like
like when you play a shrine or something, you
go
get a 1/1.
go
Go
Shinto.
Shintai.
Yeah.
Go Shintai, yeah. Yeah. Whoever has that deck is probably like, oh yeah, all my little 1/1s are getting huge. Like that deck was already pretty good. Now they're like, oh yes, it's my time.
I think that was
Um,
the commander for the 20 ways to win deck.
oh, was it?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
thought it was I thought it was the creature type guy.
Oh,
The colorless
Morophon?
creature type dude.
Morophon?
Morophon, I thought was in that.
I think that was in the what do you
Oh, that's the next one. All my
everyone,
friends.
yeah, everyone's
Ah,
invited. Yeah, yeah,
oh, you're right. You're right. It was Go Shintai.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sweet card, sweet art. Kind of the birthplace of birthplace of Avatar, the Last Airbender
Yeah, that's
in
the
the series. That's a
that
very very relevant place.
that's the flavor text. It says the birthplace of the last airbender.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty crazy.
there's other temples or shrines. Are we going to see one for each color, do you think, or
I think so. This is the one I remember the most.
okay.
There's like several air temples because they're like nomads, so I think they would travel among their shrines.
Okay, yeah. This is the
Um,
southern one, so there's probably,
yeah,
one for other
I think there were
directions.
like ones for the Fire Nation and ones for some others. So I think we could get some more. They might be relegated to white though, which would be
Hmm.
interesting if they were all white. But I'm not sure. My memory's not serving me for locations, but I could see
Yeah.
us getting one for
I
each.
feel like I feel like they probably wouldn't do this unless, we were going to get one of each color, or at least of the four
Yeah,
colors. So,
it would throw off the whole schema if they just were like randomly,
yeah.
you know. They might not be called shrine in name, maybe. Like see, it's the air temple. I think there's like several temples, so maybe they'll just all be temples. But yeah, love it. Love to see it.
So let's talk about
Uh,
the mechanics here, the bending. Let's start with air bending. We've got Appa, who is an airbender, I guess.
yes,
Do you want
yes,
to
he
you want
is.
to you want to read that?
Yeah. So Appa, Steadfast Guardian, 2 white white for a legendary creature, Bison ally, flash flying. When Appa enters, airbend any number of other non-land permanents you control. And then in quotes it goes, or in brackets it goes, exile them. While each one is exiled, its owner may cast it for 2 rather than its mana cost. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 ally creature token, and it's a 3/4. So super sweet.
Is
Love
this
it.
the first bison we've gotten?
Ooh, it might be. If he's the first bison, that's even better.
Yeah.
He's a flying bison is his is what he's called in the show. So let's see. If so, I'm so about it.
This
Yep,
card,
he's the first bison.
nice. Yeah. This card is really good. It seems like, um, especially if you're playing, an ally themed deck, because you're gonna get an 1/1 white ally to trigger. Normally when an ally enters, it triggers something. At least that's the way it worked, in Zendikar and past sets. So if you can make, just one of those tokens, you're going to trigger a bunch of stuff. And then let's talk about this air bending. So I
Yep.
believe that the air bending is always an ETB trigger, is what we've seen so far, anyways.
Yeah.
And so you exile um, whatever however much it tells you. Like if it says airbend 1 or airbend 2, then that's how many you do. This just happens to say any number. And then you can cast them for 2 from exile. So if it costs 1, you still have to pay 2, but if it costs 10, you only have to pay 2. So um, the airbending seems like it could get kind of out of control kind of fast,
Yeah.
when you're paying a significant reduction in cost.
Yeah. I love this new way. This feels more, I think, in line with white. White getting to always just exile stuff permanently just feels like kind of like aggressive and not
Uh
like
huh.
in flavor. White's not supposed to like murder you, and it's actually in ways better than black because it's like I don't just murder you, you're gone from existence. So now getting some way to like you're out of my way for now, like you're temporarily locked away is great. And it works both ways because yes, I can get your thing out of my way so I can attack. Not with Appa, but in general. But also I can save my stuff and recast it later, which feels very white. So I
Yeah.
like this new space they've tried to edit Exile to be a little
Yeah, I don't
different.
know the
And it
airbend.
rewards you for all that play from Exile stuff because we get more and more of that. This is another way to
Oh
play from
yeah,
Exile.
yeah. I don't know that the airbend, if you can do it on your opponent stuff. I feel like it's only your stuff that you can
Oh,
exile.
really?
Yeah, this card specifically says it, but I don't know if the other cards with airbending say only your stuff. So.
A card we'll get to later. You can exile other people's
Oh, okay,
things.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's anybody. This one's just would be maybe too good if I could exile any number of your things.
Okay,
Get your board out of here.
let's move on
Quick,
to.
quick lore note on Avatar. All the bending is from nature, and there's like a animal in the like some giant crazy animal that like can do it. So the sky bison, which Appa might be the last one in, I think that's not the case, but he's one of them in the story. They taught people to airbend, and there's one for each other. One's like called like a badger mole. Fire nations like dragons, and the water nation I think is like the I don't know if it's a beast or like the moon. I don't know, something like that. But there's all these crazy animals
So
that
the animals have these powers too.
those legendary animals that you never
Okay,
encounter for the most part
okay.
have them. The regular animals, as we'll get to later, are just weird. A lot of times, weird cross-up animals. So you're not just a cat; you're like a cat dog or something. It's just a fun thing they did.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah,
Well, let's move on to water bending. And so I have
yeah.
you, the moon spirit, here.
Hmm.
She's 3 and a blue. Legendary creature spirit ally. Flying vigilance. Waterbend 5 and tap. You may cast a non creature spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. And then so the reminder text here for waterbend is you can to in order to pay for a waterbend cost, you can tap a creature or artifact you control. So it's kind of convoke, but you can use artifacts as well. And she's a 3
Yeah,
3.
super cool. So she's more artifacts and creature based than she would appear to get a really powerful effect. So I really love that mechanic. Still, now she makes me even more curious to build her as a commander because I'm like, oh, she's a spirit and an ally. Why would I, you know, who cares? But now I'm like, oh, actually, maybe I do care because it cares about having a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I trying to put together the flavor lock here for waterbending because I don't really understand why artifacts do it. I think that's a magic mechanic request, which makes it way more powerful for Magic. But otherwise, I don't fully understand the point of it being or tap an artifact. but I like it. It's like people are bending, we're tapping, we're going sideways, we're turning our bodies so that we can do a thing. So I love that.
Yeah, it's like super convoke basically.
Yeah, it's like activated ability convoke, I guess.
Yeah.
Until a spell says water bending, I guess can a spell just say water bending and it has convoke basically?
Well, we do have
Like, can you have an instant?
I think that the when we'll get to it here in a minute, the Earth one I think does that kind of, which I guess we can
Okay.
talk about that now if you want. So,
Yeah, earth
Earth,
bending lesson.
yeah, Earth bending lesson.
Earthbending lesson, 3 and a green, sorcery lesson. Earthbend 4. Target land you control becomes a 0/0 creature with haste, and that's still a land. Put 4+1/+1 counters on it. When it dies or is exiled, return to the battlefield tapped. Um, so yeah, Earthbending is land animating, but safe.
Yeah, yeah, I like that they've kind of fixed that because it felt really bad when you would take your Nissa and make a land, animate a land, and it just got immediately killed, and you're like, oh well, I'm down to land now, and so this kind of fixes it because it comes back, it's tapped, but at least it comes back, and you're not, it doesn't feel as bad doing that.
From exile or a graveyard, so it's like totally safe.
Yeah.
So instead of like before where you're like, ew, they're gonna blow up my land, I'm gonna be behind man, and now it's like, oh no, there's no drawback, just do this. So yeah, a
Hmm.
lot of text, but worth it. I say worth it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and so we'll have the earth bend, and then it'll have a number behind it, and that's how many +1/+1 counters are on that land. So it's not necessarily always going to be four. You can have one, two, whatever. So that
yeah.
number just tells you how many +1/+1 counters to put on the card.
Hmm. A little weird flavor fail that it's a creature, I guess, but usually it's just a big brick coming at you, wall of bricks. But that's still pretty cool. I
Yeah,
like the way they did that.
yeah. I mean,
Yes,
it's still a land coming at you, still Earth coming at
yeah.
you. It's just
Earth is coming at you.
yeah, it's just they had to put it in the magic realm. So
To be fair, that's cool. I like the
mhm.
way they did it because I didn't know how it would be portrayed.
Yeah.
If you remember when we originally were reviewing the Aang they showed weeks ago, everyone just thought air that all of them were mapped to like counters, draw,
Hmm.
the most base level thing, and they're all way different than we expected.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of
yeah.
happy to see that. We thought we were just doing damage, drawing cards, gaining life, and we were like, wow, Airbenders suck. All they do is gain life. Instead of the exile stuff, we're like, okay, hold
Yeah.
on, we got something here. We're cooking. So,
Well, let's talk about
um,
fire. I have Fire Lord Zuko here. He costs red, white,
yeah,
black. Legendary creature, human noble ally. Rare. Fire bending X, where X is Fire Lord Zuko's power. So whenever this creature attacks, add X red mana. This mana lasts until end of combat. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, and whenever a permanent you control enters from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And a 2/4.
yeah. So he actually like combos with airbending instants or things with flash, I guess, because he can
Yeah,
use his mana to like play them for the two,
from
I think.
exile. So they did say that.
So
So they said, I think this is like one of the last episodes is what this Zuko is from, and so they said that we're gonna have multiple legendaries, um, and so you're gonna have your monocolored, and then like they said toward the end you're gonna have three colored legendaries. So this is kind of his final form. It looks like. And I think so. Firebending happens during combat and only lasts through combat. That's it. So you gain this mana just for like combat tricks or instants. Um, what do you? Does this go along with the show?
yeah, I'm trying to put together. So like, yeah, it's an offensive. So firebending to me definitely felt like damage because you're like setting people on fire.
Uh
They're
huh.
not like harnessing it for a resource, but I like the way they've chosen to do this. A, because attacking and dealing damage would be a lot for a lot of cards to have. Where this is kind of cool. It's making it fast and furious, being able to channel it into stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I would say it's in line. I think I get the idea with this card though. So Zuko is in the story. he talks out a turn in front of his father, who's the Fire Lord, and he's the prince. He talks out a turn. He's if you look at his eye, it has a big burn mark on it.
Mm-hmm.
He does an Agni Kai or something with his father, or they fight or something. He burns him, and then he exiles him, sends him on a mission to go find the Avatar, who at the time has been gone for 100 years. Like no one knows what happened, and so he's like, basically go walk the earth and never come back is
Mm.
basically what it is. So he's spending all this time. Aang has actually come out of the ice. He's like the worst little villain kid ever. So if we see like his first form, he's probably either going to be like mono black, maybe, you know, and then maybe he'll be black red. And then I see in the background, I believe that is Aang behind him because at the end he ends up kind of going through this story arc and he joins the team way late in the series. It's kind of like a whoa.
Mm.
The whole time he's kind of his uncle who's like seen the problems of war kind of like starts kind of like throwing wisdom at him and constantly trying to question his worldview, and then you see him kind of transform throughout the series. It's kind of one of the best redemption arcs ever. And then so you see even Aang there. So I think that's the idea why the white mana, him working with the exiled cards, having that like coming together. He's reuniting the people of the Fire Nation that are, new and old, and he's bringing in the airbending type of thing. So
Yeah,
very
you look
cool.
at the flavor text that said today this war is finally over. So,
Yeah.
um, so there might be some confusion with this firebending as far as color identity because if you have a black card that has firebending, it's going to have a red mana symbol on it, but that's in the flavor text or the reminder text. So, no, you cannot have a black firebending commander and play black red cards in your commander deck. So the color identity of the card is just going to be black, even though it has a red mana symbol on it. It's in the reminder text. So just
Just like
I
extort, if you remember that
yeah,
ability,
yep,
extort. It's the
yep,
same idea.
yeah. So just to clear up some confusion, if you're listening to this and you're wondering, that's if you see mana symbols in reminder text, it does not count toward the color identity of that card. So.
Yep, just to be as confusing as possible, but yes.
uh, um, I, so that's all the mechanics and the types of cards that we have so far. We have shrines, lessons, and then all the bending cards. Where there's some. Oh,
Mhm,
hang on, we got one more. We have sagas. Sagas are back for this. So
mhm.
the Rise of Sozin is a black saga for black black. Um, First chapter, destroy all creatures. Second, choose a card name, search opponents, target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles. Then exile the saga and return it to the battlefield transformed under your control. And then the back of the card is Fire Lord Sozin. And this is, I guess, kind of what I was just talking about. We see legendary creature, human noble, menace, firebending 3. Whenever this creature attacks, add 3 red mana. This mana lasts until end of combat. Whenever Fire Lord Sozin deals combat damage to a player, you may pay X. When you do, put any number of target creature cards with total mana value X or less from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and he's a 5/5.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome story of basically what happens. He goes and there's basically a genocide against the Air Nation, is what they do during a meteor gets close enough. I think they call it like Sozin's Comet or Sozin's Comet gets close enough to um, their planet, and that gives the firebenders like this incredible power. And during that time, they go and obliterate the air
Mm.
nomads, and because the reason being they were trying to kill the Avatar before the Avatar is kind of like the Panchen Lama and Dalai Lama thing, where once the Avatar dies, a new one's born, and it goes in a cycle. So their fire, the previous Avatar was a firebender, which made the Fire Nation great. After his death was to be born an airbender, Aang. So he basically went and started a genocide to go and kill all the airbenders so they could
Oh.
end that, so they could reign supreme over the world.
Huh.
Um,
So, you were talking about Sozin's Comet. They showed the art for Sozin's Comet, so it is going to be a card,
ah,
but they didn't say what it does. So we can, you know, theory craft that card for next episode. Um,
Yeah.
I was thinking it was just going to be the comet from Ixalan, where it does 13 or whatever, 13 damage to each creature.
Oh
And
yeah, blasphemous act. Yeah.
no, there's the meteor.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe it's 20 to
Yeah,
each
yeah.
creature. I don't remember, but so that card
Okay, yeah.
that card is going to exist. Sozin's Comet's out there somewhere. They just showed the art for it though. So
Yeah, it could be a reprint. It could be a new card. It could be a black card. Maybe that's where the
oh yeah,
uh, Fire Nation, like as weird as it is, we might just get a lot of red sounding cards with black name with that are black cards in this set. Hard to say.
yeah,
It will. It has a huge impact. I mean, it's basically the set piece for the show. It could just be Star of Extinction or Meteor from
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Final
Star of
Fantasy.
Extinction. Or
Um,
what if it
it
was
could,
like?
yeah.
What if it was just like a Rakdos card that destroyed all white creatures or something? Because didn't you say
That'd be cool.
they're
That'd
trying to
be
wipe out the Airbenders?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
literally what happens. So it could be like destroy all white, red, black, destroy all white creatures.
yeah.
Maybe. I'm interested. It could do anything, but I expect it to be some flashy card that does a lot of fun stuff. I love it
Yeah.
when they mash them up pretty well.
Well, I mean,
Like
the
Appa,
first,
for example, was a great example of like what the character does in his show. He saves people. He brings your friends to help you. You
yeah.
know, it's kind of his whole thing. So,
Well, the first
uh,
chapter on this is destroy all creatures of the saga. So I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's all encompassed in the saga.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's super cool. He's the end boss of the series. He's like the final villain too. It's pretty awesome. He's actually featured on another card they spoiled, a reprint. I don't know how they're dishing these out, but Force of Negation. Yeah, so Force of Negation, it looks like it's some sort of reprint. I don't know the logistics on the reprints for the set, but in that scene, this is after Sozin and Aang fight in the biggest boss battle ever. You kind of see that full Avatar mode that you see in the first card they
uh-huh.
spoiled. And to defeat him, after he defeats him, I think there's also a comet coming by at that time, so like Firelord's also at his power or something like that. Something's happening to make him strong again.
Hmm.
At the end of the battle, Aang steals away his bending forever. That's like some blessing the air or the Avatar can do. So he just like does this and Suzin loses all of his firebending abilities forever. And then I don't
Huh.
think he dies. I don't know what happens to him after that, but yeah, that's kind of like one of the climactic things where he's like you're cut off from bending forever. And so that's like this is like the final battle moment in the show where it's like oh everything's down to this.
Yeah, we're getting
Really cool.
so there is a bonus sheet for this set, like, and they have the cards that are like the from Final Fantasy, where they take just the screenshots basically from the show and then put the text on them. And honestly, I think these cards are hideous. I hate these cards. They look so
For
bad.
me, yeah, I think they could have done better and made it like Magic styled, restyled,
Yeah,
revisualized. I think it looks pretty good. Avatar was a pretty well drawn cartoon, so I don't hate it.
I no,
I
I don't
guess
hate the art. I hate the way they just.
concept.
I hate the I don't like the white text with the black outline, and I just hate the way it looks. I think it's hideous. And I know I don't know if you read Mark Rosewater's latest State of the Design article, but he talks about a lot of the feedback they got about these style cards. People hate the design, so hopefully these are going to go away and they're going to fix them somehow. I love like they did SpongeBob Secret Lair, and they took screenshots from the show that they made to fit the card, and
Yeah.
I would much rather than do that than this. I think it's ugly. Personally, that's just my opinion, man. But yeah. So, but we are
No, I
getting
hear you. I hear you on the text because this is a thing people have been doing for years in Proxy World. Like
right.
this is
Yeah.
something. It's funny when they go from Proxy World directly, and like we're just gonna do it, and it's like there's a difference between the professionals and the like the people at home. Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to look at this and be like, this doesn't look that great, and I kind of agree, but I don't know.
Yes.
They went a little overboard. I think they're just trying stuff. I'm glad that happened. I like it when they have the little like bracket where it's like you get the little color strip and then like a little like highlight
Uh-huh.
like shadow strip, at least like looks like it fits there.
Yeah.
And then like I really liked the thing where it would drop down the magic card name, but I guess we've definitely jumped the shark on that idea. But
So yeah, so we are getting a bonus sheet similar to Final Fantasy. They did say that these cards, like in Final Fantasy, I guess they were pretty common to find in play boosters. They said that these are going to be about one in every 25 packs, so like one per booster
oh,
box. Yeah. So finding them at
that's
play
really
boosters
rare.
is going to be somewhat rare. But I think you get one in every collector booster. So if you want these cards, look for the collector boosters. So
Okay. Wow. So these are gonna be hot.
yeah, another treatment they're doing that's pretty hot is the neon ink cards are back. So I think we last
Ooh.
saw these in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They did this for all the um, mana crypts. They had
Mhm.
different colored neon. So we've seen 3 of the characters so far with the neon treatment. So we're gonna get those
Oh
back.
yeah.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
I didn't realize they were neon ink. They look sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know the drop rate on these, but they're back. They're checklist. They just have the character on it and all the stats. They don't have any text box or anything. So yeah,
Oh wow, that's super cool.
yeah, they look pretty cool. They haven't I don't have they released Aang yet. I think it's just Zuko, uh,
And Toph,
and there's a third one.
Katara maybe,
Blue,
Katara.
yeah, mono blue, yeah. So, yeah, these look pretty sick. They got the watermark behind them too. So like Zuko has the firebending watermark, which we've seen that on all the cards we've seen so far. They have their corresponding watermark, or air mark or fire mark. They're not.
Another lore reference. This style in the
Uh-huh.
beginning of the show, they show like nameless, like shadowy figures doing the bending. So this is
Oh,
like a play on that. So you see like a random waterbender. It's like a waterbender and a firebender, but they're all like shadows. So it's like a play on that,
that's cool.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
And it's almost looks like their avatar state where they go like I don't have eyes, and I love it. I love
yeah,
these styles.
yeah. I dig these. I dig this art. I don't like the
Yeah,
ones we just saw. So.
yeah. All right. So next, I want to talk about Momo Friendly Flyer. Um, it's one white for a legendary creature, Lemur Bat Ally. Flying. The first non-lemur creature spell with flying you cast during each of your turns costs one less to cast. Whenever another creature you control with flying enters, Momo gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and it's a 1/1. Um, so Momo, I don't remember where he comes from exactly. I think he's found with Aang, maybe, or maybe they meet him later on. He's just like a random familiar that's throughout the show. I actually don't. It's been so long, I don't remember exactly his story. But he's a little pet guy who's with him a lot of the time. He does some like helpful hands here and there. But this is a great example of those weird like fusion animals that are throughout the show.
Oh
A
yeah.
bat
Okay.
lemur.
Okay.
I also wanted to point out that they're using this. I've seen it a few times now. Them go back to that old art styles they've been kind of touching on. So this reminds me a lot of kind of how they did Lumra back in Bloomborough, where they had those like animal
Yeah.
body part arts that I think originally started with like Ilharg and Company and Gishath and like a Secret Lair, where it's like look at the anatomy of these animals. I tend to like that. I don't know why Momo looks so flat here. Looks very flat in this art. But cool to see him. Cool to see the little buddy get it. And I like the flavor that he won't cost down your non-lemurs. So it hopefully doesn't incentivize you to kill Momo by playing another Momo to get a counter, but I guess you are. Um, but interesting card. But just want to point it out, it might be playable in some formats. That's a really cheap cost reducer for flyers. So if you're going like blue white skies, that might be the guy for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to bring him up just because he's a fun buddy. And next, we talked about this a little earlier, talking about how lightning bending is a thing. So Azula was the other character earlier on that was on the black
The lightning bender.
pre-release kit, the lightning bender.
Okay.
That is Zuko's sister, and she's like the one left in charge to be second in command of the Fire Nation after he's dismissed, and she is just the biggest piece of crap on the planet, just like the villainiest villain, mustache twirling, just always being a problem, always trying to do bad stuff. Well, she's a lightning bender. She's like a prodigy of firebending. She's like lightning bended since she was a kid, just basically always better than Zuko to begin with. There's a couple of arts in the set. They show one of the arts where there's a time when Zuko joins Team Avatar, is what they kind of call it. And him and Aang learn like the true heart of firebending from like a dragon, because dragons are like the things that taught people how to firebend. They're all said to be dead. So they go find like the last two dragons, and Aang, and it's like this whole cool thing where Aang's learning to firebend. At the beginning of the story, he just knows how to airbend, and he has to learn each element throughout the show. So finally, he needs a firebending teacher. Zuko ends up filling that role. They get pushed to go see these dragons, and they learn how to firebend, which is like more powerful. But along the way, Iroh, he's like part of the secret society, but he's the uncle that's been helping Zuko this whole time to be a good person. Has the ability that he showcased at one point to redirect lightning. So he kind of like channels it through his hand, through his other hand, boom. And then later on, it's passed down to Zuko. He teaches him how to do it. So there's a very big fight between Zuko and Azula, and he just goes right back at you, and it's kind of like the big finishing move. So it's really cool that they made a redirect spell that's really hot. Let me read redirect lightning. Redirect lightning for red. It's an instant. It's a lesson. As an additional cost to cast a spell, pay 5 life or 2 mana. Change the target of a spell or ability to a single target. With a single target. This card is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great lesson because these type of effects aren't always good, but when they're good, you want to have them. So just having it be something you can pick up when you learn. You're like, oh, you're playing some sort of removal spell deck? Let me go and grab that.
Yeah.
Let me go grab this redirect lightning. I might need it. It's a little funny though. When you learn, you have to reveal the card you learn, or do you just add a card? Yeah, I'm sure you have to reveal it, right? So you know that it's
Yeah. If it specifies a type, yeah. It's been
okay. Yeah,
it's been a while since I played these. They came out in Strixhaven, so
I know it's just whenever you learn, you either discard a card, draw a card, or you get a lesson from your sideboard or
Yeah.
outside the game. So I assume you have to probably reveal it. So it's not such a surprise when you redirect lightning. I have to reveal it, otherwise you'd be cheating, right? I wouldn't know if I'm just grabbing a different sideboard card, which would be awkward because we could probably verify that later. But regardless, sweet card. Love it. I love this for Commander. Redirect spells. I don't know if you guys played with Reflecting Swat and how powerful this is. This is just This is what red needed. We needed this card. I'm all about this card. Flavor, 10 out of 10. Sick alt art. Loving it. And I kind of wanted to run through all the characters so that everyone's, here's what the characters are mainly doing. We got a mono white Aang. We got Aang, Airbending Master for 4 and a white. Legendary creature, human avatar ally. When Aang enters, airbend another target creature. Exile it. If it's exiled, its owner may cast it for 2 rather than paying its mana cost. Whenever one or more creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, you get an experience counter. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white ally creature token for each experience counter you have, and he's a 4/4. Yep, so this is Aang. This is us airbending away your opponent's stuff, or your own stuff. Pretty sweet. And he's like a cool build around me commander.
So this is if you notice the set symbol is different. It's the looks like the kite they fly around on. Is that what that is?
Yeah, Aang has a little staff he carries around that turns into a little glider. So because he can't fly, he can glide though.
Yeah. So this is the from the Jumpstart set. So this is you're only going to find these in the Jumpstart pack. So we've got the regular set symbol looks like Aang's head with the arrow on top, and then this is the set symbol is the little glider that he has. So yeah, so that's how you can tell these are Jumpstart cards. So I assume
you
these
have
are
to add a mini game. You have to add a mini game to the set symbol game. You're gonna be like, how many set symbols are ahead? over under 10.
We've got 2 so far, and Spider-Man and Avatar.
And then Scourge is the head of a dragon.
Yep.
What else? Yawgmoth's Mask, does that count? I don't know. Mercadian Mask is a mask, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do the masks count? I don't know. So fun mini game. Have people debate on. Another Jumpstart card. This is one everyone I know is curious about. So there's a meme in Avatar throughout the entire series. There's this guy. I don't think he's ever gets a name. And the card is the Cabbage Merchant for 2 and a green. A legendary creature, human citizen. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, create a food token. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, sacrifice a food. Tap to untap foods you control, add 1 mana of any color. And then his quote, "My cabbages!" And he's a 2/2.
So he shows up in just randomly in episodes. And is it a
Yeah,
same,
so you have some weird antics.
Is it the same guy or a different guy?
Same guy.
Okay.
It's always the same guy. And so he's most of the guys in green garb are Earthbender Nation people. The blue is pretty straightforward what color, what nation you're from. But yeah, this guy throughout their whole adventures, the whole time will appear. And he's got a big old cart full of cabbages, and then escapades will happen, and then his cart will get destroyed, and he'll go, "My cabbages!" And it just
Dark Pack cosplay. They hired him to actually make the Cabbage Man cosplay, and they sent him up there with a cabbage cart, and that's how you got. So the promos they were handing out at San Diego Comic Con, that's how you got them. You visited him at the cabbage cart and got your promos there. So yeah, they had a whole cabbage cart, and so if you don't follow already, go find Dark Pack cosplay. Evan, they're really cool. Met them quite a few times at Magic Cons and stuff, and they do awesome cosplays. They had one at Magic 30 that was Ashiok, and it had the smoke coming out. They won the whole thing, so it was very good cosplayer, and they hired them to go out and be the Cabbage Man at San Diego Comic Con and hand out the promos, and it was fun looking at their social media all weekend and seeing all their pictures and stuff. It was pretty cool. So I didn't know. I assumed that's something that he at least got his cabbage cart wrecked one time, but it happens quite a bit. I didn't know that, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like a running gag through the show. He'd be like, we're running through the city, something's happening. Again. Yeah, it's great. So happy to see that card. It actually looks kind of cool and interesting too. You get a lot of food, and then if they're not attacking you, just stack up food and go nuts. I mean, it's probably gonna be a player. I also like that it's a legendary creature without a name. It's it's not Dave. The cabbage guy.
I hope we get an artifact that's the Cabbage Man's card or something.
Yes, or just that'd be a sweet remember that card from the second Eldraine that's it enters and rampant grows you and you sack it to rampant growth. It's like a food. I forget what it's called. It's like a 3-mana food that's beyond his reach. It's uncommon, but it was a food spell. Yeah. So I'm we could have a cabbage, just green and 1 when it enters rampant growth. Cabbage, cabbage patch, and go on. So I doubt they're gonna have space, but I like the idea. Then we're gonna have a carrot. We'll just every food will have a thing. We already have instant ramen. I mean.
Yeah. We had carrots in Bloomburrow.
Yeah. Oh, we did have carrots. Yeah.
We did. So it's not a common. Or it was carrot cake, I think, in Bloomburrow.
Carrot cake.
Yeah. So.
So now we just got it. Now it's just a checklist. What foods can we get? Pizza. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh my God. Okay. So Michelangelo's gonna be a food card anyway. So next we have Toph, the first metal bender, for 1, a red, a green, and a white. Legendary creature, human warrior ally. Non-token artifacts you control are lands in addition to their other types. At the beginning of your, but they don't gain the ability to tap for mana. At the beginning of your end step, Earthbend 2, target land you control becomes a 0/0 artifact. 0/0 creature with haste that's still land. Puts +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies, exile it and return to the battlefield, and it's a 3/3. So this card's crazy.
Yeah, I was really confused when I was reading this card because it's okay, they're lands, but they don't tap for mana, but they can become creatures, and there's all kinds of craziness going on with this card.
Yeah, so I get the flavor is right. She's the first metal bender. So all my artifacts are now malleable like land was already to me, so you
Yeah.
can earthbend them. But it is super weird that they're like they don't tap for mana, which I get it because they don't gain a type.
Right.
But it's super bizarre. But actually, that makes her more broken with Yavi Maya, right? Because you still, if you have Yavi Maya out, you
Oh
still
yeah.
need Forest.
Yeah.
So you're like,
Or border.
cool.
Yeah.
Urborg, yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe you'll play both of those in this deck, and you'll be like, because you can play Urborg in any color deck. And you're just like, oh, all my cabbages tap for mana.
It says non-token, so
Yeah, true. Damn. But yeah. Oh man, there's gonna be a cabbage token. Oh man.
there's got to be a
Um,
cabbage token. So is this
and just this might not be apparent to you, Josh. Toph is blind. If you look at
okay?
the eyes on the card, she's actually a blind character, which they reference throughout the series often. It's pretty funny.
Okay. So is this one of those like side quest bending things that they have? You said there's like lightning and
Yes.
sand or quicksand or something. So this is one of the side bending.
Yeah, she gets trapped in like so they get into conflict, I think, with some earthbenders or firebenders. Oh yeah, firebenders, I think, because firebenders tend to like they're like more industrialized than everybody else.
Okay.
And they use metal to like contain benders. So like, just, you're in a metal box. We have metal boats. Toph gets like put in like a metal container to container, and she just like is there, and she like kind of like vibes with it, and just like rips the door open, and then it's like, oh,
Oh.
what? So it's like kind of in a desperation, she manages to like do something no one's ever done before. So
Yeah.
she's like the most like unique. Like, she breaks into it.
So is
There's
she born blind or becomes blind during the series?
I think she's born blind, if I remember correctly. She's like from some family, or she gets lost or something. She meets up with the group a little later on because it starts out with just Aang and the two waterbenders. Then they find Toph eventually, and then Zuko eventually joins them. But I think she, as a baby, like goes wandering off, and I think she's blind as a baby. And she finds these things called like badger moles. They're these giant. These are the appas of the Earth Kingdom. Okay,
Yeah.
and they're huge. They're massive. And she's like, and they do this thing, and like they're like the first Earthbenders, and she stays with them. And then she's like an elite Earthbender, but she can't see. But throughout the whole series, it's like you don't expect her not to be able to see because she kind of like can feel the Earth and tell what people look like. Except for in like weird terrain, like if you're in water or in the sky or
Yeah.
whatever. She's like, I have no idea. So there's a lot of times where they like will reference. She's like, oh, I can totally tell. It's like, I'm blind, you dummy. Like, oh, you just like completely forget. Like there's a scene where like all the light goes out, and they're like, oh no, we can't see. And she's like, how horrifying. You know, stuff like that. So, but yeah, very very cool character. Very cool to see them make it make sense. But yeah, they do sand bending is like referenced vaguely. There's swamp bending, which is also referenced vaguely. Some offshoots,
Okay.
not like very relevant. And then the other one is the water one has several, but the most important one they reference eventually, I think they reference it in this series. It's more prominent in the second series. Is blood bending because
Oh.
there's blood in your veins. It's water, so you can bend people. It's kind of like a horror. They play it as like a horror thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
So we got one last card, right, to look at?
Two cards left. Two cards left.
Okay.
And then we're there. I just wanted to hit the main cast. So in the beginning of the story, Aang, it's like 100 years or something crazy in the past where the Fire Nation like kills all the people and everything's gone. The Avatar's been missing. Well, Aang during the big genocide like runs away because of whatever reason. I think he finds out he's gonna be the Avatar. He's gonna leave everybody or something. He doesn't want to do it. And then he comes back to see everyone's like, he runs away. He like gets in an ice storm with Appa, and they get frozen in this ball, which is one of the cards that they've shown a picture of.
Yeah.
And he's frozen for like he goes into Avatar state, which protects him, but he's like frozen underwater for years. And then Sokka and Katara, the next two cards we're gonna talk about, go doing whatever they're doing. They're kind of like, I think their tribe is supposed to be kind of like Eskimo. I don't want to say the wrong thing. They're supposed to be like tribal Iceland people, analog to real life. And they go like, so I don't know what the exact analog they're going for there, but they go out and they go adventuring. And I think they're trying, like, the Fire Nation's kind of coming to like tax them or do something to their tribe, and they're going out and they stumble across this big ball of ice, which summons Aang. Aang's born, and the first people he sees is, or reawakens. The first people he sees is Katara and Sokka. Katara ends up being like kind of the first teacher of Aang. She teaches him waterbending and stuff like that. And Sokka is just our regular guy. He's a warrior, but his big thing is just a boomerang. He's the one guy to like for everyone to foil against because he has no powers or anything, and he's still like the glue that holds everyone together. So let's get into Katara. Katara is a waterbending master, legendary creature, human warrior ally. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, you get an experience counter. Whenever Katara attacks, you may draw a card for each experience counter you have. If you do, discard a card, and it's a 1/3.
And this is from the Jumpstart set, right?
It's from Jumpstart. Yep. This card's kind of crazy. Whenever you cast a spell, so you. Oh man, this is like a Baral. Katara's the new Baral. Ugh. I guess you have to attack. That's a little bit fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, this reminds me of Baral a lot. I don't know if I get the flavor of this card. She does get more experience as she goes on. She kind of starts out as like a basic-ish, and their natural analog is actually ice. So I guess that's the second form of water is ice, but no one really cares because, like, yeah, of course it would be ice. I guess I don't know. It doesn't seem that special. But yeah, so, but yeah, she gets better and better throughout the series to where she can do some of like the most amazing water stuff just from being around them all. And actually, it's kind of funny because in the beginning, she's teaching Aang how to do water and it can heal people and do other stuff. And Aang doesn't care. He's like, check it out. I'm so good at this. He'll just be like, look, I can make a freaking tidal wave. Like, oh, I figured it out like that. And she's like kind of pissed because she's like,
Oh yeah, jealous. Yeah.
it takes a lot of time and patience, and she knows stuff he doesn't know, but he's just like, a savant at it. And then later on, Toph teaches him earthbending, and it's the opposite of air, and he's just like a complete failure at it. He's like, I can't do this.
Mm.
So it's part of all the story that layers on.
Yeah.
So that's Katara. And then we have Sokka, Bold, Boomeranger, legendary creature, red and a blue for a legendary creature, human warrior ally. When Sokka enters, discard up to 2 cards, then draw the many cards. Whenever you cast an artifact or a lesson spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Sokka. I'm just a guy with a boomerang, and he's a 1/1.
So they did say that we are going to get a boomerang card. So yeah,
Good.
I'm guessing it'll be somewhat kind of like Captain America's shield or something, where
Yeah.
you fling it and it comes back. So
Oh my god, yes. I mean, maybe it makes sense. Maybe waterbending, this is the thin line they're putting into waterbenders with the artifact thing, is that they
Yeah.
have weapons. But then I feel like firebending should also, because they have tanks and stuff, like later
maybe
on.
we'll get vehicles.
Yeah. They should get vehicles. So, but yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of this set. Flavor-wise, I think they're hitting it out of the park. Curious to see some of the characters we haven't seen. I'm sure most people are waiting with bated breath for Uncle Iroh, for other versions of Zuko, other versions of Aang, other versions of, I mean, the other ones have pretty good versions already. But yeah, there's a lot of characters we haven't seen yet. Azula. But yeah, so I'm excited. This has me excited. This is finally rubber meeting the road for me with Universes Beyond. It's like, oh, an IP I like. It looks good. The cards are sweet. I'm like, I'm grinning ear to ear. I'm like, yeah, you did it finally.
Yeah, I always say, people dislike Universes Beyond until it's their IP that they do. So I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Simpsons.
Yep, it's possible. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. They did SpongeBob. Anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
How do they cross over with any of the? Who owns Simpsons?
Fox. Yeah. So
Fox. Have we crossed over with anything?
I mean, Disney owns Fox, which has The Simpsons. So we have Marvel, so they work with Disney.
It's
So
possible.
It's possible. Yeah.
It's possible. Just keep saying it, Josh. Just keep going.
I need a whole set though. I don't need a secret.
You're gonna do
the
the
whole set.
No, you become a big enough part of Magic that you could get your own realms. What's the Realms Beyond card?
Oh yeah, Heroes of the Realm.
The super
Yeah.
card. Yeah, you get Heroes of the Realm of you as a Simpsons character, the collector. That'd be so sick.
Yeah.
I'm in. So you get that, and then they make me a Ninja Turtle, and then we're Gucci.
Yeah, so
Cool.
when I do stuff at MagicCon, or I always call myself the collector or whatever, and that's a Simpsons reference from the Treehouse of Horror, because the comic book guy, that's his superhero.
Oh.
in that episode is the collector, and he has like
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, he has all the toys. He has like actual Xena Warrior Princess. He has Lucy Lawless trapped in Lucite, in a package, and Bart and Lisa have superpowers. Stretch Boy and Clobber Girl, they come in and fight the collector, and he has to like open up his lightsaber from the package, and he's like, oh my god, no, it's not meant to the package anymore, and yeah. So yeah, so that's where that comes from. It's kind of double entendre, because I do collect a lot,
Okay.
and I love The Simpsons. So.
I would imagine most players. I thought I was like, oh, it's like a riff from the Professor. Like you're the collector, but nope,
Yeah.
it's a riff from. That's sick. That's sick. So now we need the pack head. We need the pack head. We got the collector. We need the pack head. We got the professor. What else? We need the tournament grinder. So that's just whoever's winning on the Pro Tour. But yeah, no, I'm loving this set. How do you feel about it, Josh?
So
are you like, what the hell's going on? Or
I might actually start watching the show. If I can get most of it in before the set releases, I'll know what the heck's going on. And this was just the first look at the set to get people kind of hyped up. I know it was to drive pre-orders on Amazon, because every time they do these first looks, that's the day they release the product on Amazon for pre-order. So I know that's what was what's driving this. But so because we aren't going to get any official stuff until the end of October is when the first official previews start, and then I want to say the 18th is the pre-release. So, or maybe that's the release date. I don't remember. It's in November, so it's we're quite a ways out. But we will get official previews for Spider-Man actually here in a couple of weeks at the end of this month. So yeah, we've kind of gone out of order a little bit. We got Spider-Man way back before it was before Final Fantasy, and then we got our first teases with the scene boxes. I think it was at New York Comic Con, and then we got Spider-Man at San Diego Comic Con interrupting Edge of Eternities, and so it's next. We'll get it out of the way. Then Avatar in November, and we'll see if we have a secret set. I don't think we're going to, because I think Foundations was kind of the secret set last year, came out in November, so it kind of lines up with Avatar. But then going to Lorwyn in January, which I'm super excited about. So
yeah. It's been a long time coming, Josh. It's been a long time coming.
That was the set that that was like my kids' first pre-releases and stuff. So we had been playing for a little bit. We had been playing since beginning of Time Spiral about, but Lorwyn was the very first pre-release that we went to together. And it was Wizards. I want to be an ambassador for that set so bad. I'm looking forward to it. One of my favorite sets of all time. That Black Lorwyn, Morning Tide, Shadowmoor, Eventide. I loved all those sets. They were just so great. So yeah,
Some of the best sets of all time. Best sets of all time.
Yeah, I'm looking
Derek Wild Speaker. Oh my
Yeah, that
god,
was the
so many
OG plane.
cards.
OG plane. That was the first set of
I
planeswalkers
praise
that played
that
again.
card so much. I love that card.
Yeah,
Think
so
about it now. Fertile Ground turn 2, turn 3 Garrick, untap, routing through next. Get
I'm
wrecked.
gonna
Oh,
save up all my Christmas money just for lore wins.
oh yeah.
But
I'm getting in line for those packs.
yeah,
Oof.
so a couple weeks we'll have Spider-Man start previewing officially, and or finish previewing officially, and then we'll Avatar at the end of October. So Spider-Man release day is the first day of MagicCon Atlanta. I think it's the 25th of
Perfect.
September. So yeah, it'll be fun. I expect to see a lot of Spider-Man cosplays there. But you can come see me in Atlanta. I have a doing a set symbol challenge on Saturday, meet and greet on Sunday. So get your tickets. They're going to be gone pretty soon. And we gotta get you, like I said, we gotta get you out to a MagicCon sometime, Nick. So
Don't worry, once I get a new job, I'll have the funds.
yeah,
I'm working
so
on it. See, I'm looking more professional.
but yeah, so that's Avatar. We probably won't be talking about Avatar for a while now. Hopefully, we'll just focus on Spider-Man from here on out till Spider-Man's done, and then get into Avatar. Like I said, I'll probably try to watch the TV show. Do you think I heard the movie's awful, the live action movie?
So the first live action movie is an abomination.
Okay.
Don't watch it.
But there was
It's
one.
supposed to be the first book.
There was one somewhat recently, right? Like within the
Yes,
past like
I've
5 years.
heard. I don't know how good that was, but there was some TV short series
Okay.
live action that might be okay. I don't know the. You might want to look up reviews. I know the original story. If you go watch it, maybe put it on double speed, or maybe like skip some episodes that look like nothing's happening. It takes a couple episodes to get in. Book one is pretty like kiddish, but then as it picks up, it really gets going.
Okay.
But yeah, the beginning's a little like goofy
Yeah.
cartoon, and then it kind of is like kind of a serious story now, and it goes from there.
Yeah, I think I'll probably start that. Kind of put it on in the background, check it out, so I know at least somewhat of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Once you get to like the middle way, it's just like all good beats from then on
Okay.
out layers. It's
Okay.
really good. I recommend. So,
All
all
right.
right,
Is that it for today?
that's it for today.
Okay. Don't forget to like, shower, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.